Of the day, thought we'd take a look at what's been a darling of a lot of the panels here on the call. Baby Bunting, net profit after tax set to plunge almost 60% in the first half of this year versus last year. Company's chief executive says its nursery category, which is less discretionary, performed well, adding that the company is implementing a number of changes to remain competitive and deliver. Look at it today, down 12% on this news. Howard, Baby Bunting has been seen as a bit of a blue chip retailer over the last 2 years. Was this a surprise?
Not so much to us. You know, we really don't get enthusiastic about a stock unless it's got a reasonably long history. Because what you really want to know is that management can manage the business well when times are both good and bad. And it's only really been listed for about 7 years. So that only just gets to about the length of time that we would say,
for your filter.
That we would say we know how management performs. So no, I'm not that surprised. And when you hear what they're doing, they sort of part of the explanation is they've gone into lower margin items to push up sales. Yep. Well, that's great for sales. It's not good for profits. So no, not that surprised. I don't think any Teaminvest members actually own Baby Bunting, but there may be a few that do. We think they're better retailers, and like every sector, if you're in the very, very best businesses in the sector, you tend to do well. Right. If you're in the ones that are good but not that well, you don't tend to do as well.
Yep. Okay, so not for you, Mathan. No. Mathan, a lot of investors would think, hey, this is a darling, it's been smashed. But you constantly say, when a company's in a downgrade cycle, just forget it, wait until the first upgrade, and then you're fine. Is this the case with Baby Bunting?
You know me way too well.
Yeah.
Look, there's a couple of things to this. Baby Bunting, I've got to use the pun, they have definitely thrown the baby out with the bathwater. It is definitely there. It was a market darling. Why did it become market darling? Because competitors blew up. Yep. They were the last man standing. And it's amazing in an industry when you're the last man standing, you get massive expansion. Yep. And it kind of helps when the government gives you a stimulus pump. Yep. And everyone was spending like there's no tomorrow. Now, all the retail stocks, you have to remember, pre-pandemic, the markets were expensive. Post-pandemic, yes, they had multiple expansion because there's so much cash out there. Yep. Now that that's all going out of the way, you have to look at where they are relative to pre-pandemic. So pre-pandemic, it's actually around where it is now. So in theory, it's actually expensive where it is now.
Right. Okay.
So because what people are getting confused about is that the last couple of years we had stimulus-driven, exuberant spending that's gone through. We think the consumer spending is going to be much weaker going past this Christmas, New Year spending cycle. And I think the outlook statements are going to be like that. And it's a global thing. It's not just in Australia. I think it's a global trend. Consumer sentiment is weak and the spending will follow. Now that's going to hit all consumer spending related sectors, retail, consumer services, banks, property. It just flows through. It's just a cycle. So the shorter term ones get hit first, the longer term ones get hit later. This is a shorter term one, it gets hit. The thing that I like about it, every dog has its positive sign, silver lining you got to look at. It is one of those few players in a particular category. When things bottom out, this will be quite interesting. I think Baby Bunting is a good business model in a bad sector. Now is not the time to pick winners in this sector. Yep. I'm staying out, but this is one I will keep an eye on when the panic goes through the market.
Okay, all right. Now coming up in the, not to give too much warning, but in the second half of the program, Super Retail comes up. And it had announcements today as well. So let's see whether that's a leader in what both Howard and Mathan think of Super Retail. But that's in the second half of the call today.